Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to have some fun with the magic circle. Now I know a lot of people say that it's really too hard, they don't want to try it, they don't want to work with it, but I'll tell you, there might be a little bit of practice involved, but there's too many benefits not to learn how to do it. There's just a few steps. I really think you can get this done, and I'd like to show you how to do it. So let's go ahead and get started and take a look at the few steps required to do a magic circle, and I'll show you about some of the fun things that you get to do when you use it this way. So for starters, I just have my yarn over my hand. I'm going to wrap it around these first two fingers. So for starters, we're going to wrap it around, and when I come back around, I'm going to cross it. So you'll see there's a cross there. And turn it around, and it's not crossed on this side, only on the back. So you've crossed it, you come around. I'm going to put this under my third finger so I can hold on to it, and then over my fourth finger so I have some tension here. Okay, let's take a look at what that looks like. I've wrapped it around, I went cross here, no cross on this side, under my third and over my fourth. Okay, here's where we're going to make the circle. Take your hook and go under the yarn on the right. You're going to take the yarn on the left and you're going to pull it through. Now, as I pulled it through, I turned it so it wrapped around my hook. See how that wrapped around? All right, so I wrapped around my hook. Make sure it's not too tight, because what you're going to do is you're going to take this yarn that you're holding down here with your third and fourth finger, you're going to wrap it around, and you're going to pull it through that little loop that you made. Okay, that's it. That's your magic circle. Let's take a look at it, and then we'll do it again. So take it off your fingers, and let's kind of look at the anatomy of this magic circle. So for starters, here's the part that you had wrapped around your fingers, and you can see this tail is kind of wrapped around the circle. That's good. That's exactly how we want it. Here's the little, let's call it a little chain that you made by pulling that through the loop, and then here's all your yarn. This is where you would make your stitches around if you're crocheting in the round. Okay, that wasn't too bad, right? Let's do that again, and then we'll actually crochet in the circle, and I'll show you at the end when we join stitches. So we're going to do that one more time. Take your yarn, and you're going to wrap it around your first two fingers. So you can hold it with your thumb because you'll need some tension there. So wrap it around your first two fingers. Remember, a cross on this side. You're crossing over on this side, no cross on this side. Hold that down with your your third finger, and then go over your fourth. So we're creating a little bit of tension here by holding that there. All right, here's your setup. One more time. There and there. Your hook goes under the right side. It's going to drag that yarn through from the left side, and as I'm doing it, I'm twisting my yarn and pulling it up. Let's just look at that twisted around the hook, okay? Now we're going to grab the yarn between your second and third that you're holding with your third and fourth, and you're going to pull that through that little loop that you made. That's your magic circle. So let's take it off your fingers. You have the circle here, the tail's going off to the left, the yarn's going off to the left, and now we're going to stitch in the circle. This is probably what I would consider the most difficult part, because you're kind of stitching inside a floppy circle, and how do I hold it and what do I do? Well, everybody's going to have their own way of doing that. Figure out what yours is. I like to have a couple fingers inside the hole, the loop there, the little magic circle. That gives me a little extra tension, and I hold the where the tail is too. And then I go ahead and make my stitches. So right now I'm just making one single crochet. I did it right inside the circle, right? There's the circle. Let me get that other finger back in there. Like I said, I like to have a couple fingers there. All right, I'm going to do another one right inside the circle. Hold it, you know, however you need to figure this part out. This is the, like I said, probably the most difficult part, but certainly not something you can't overcome. And you would just do this with whatever stitch type and whatever number your pattern calls for, right inside that circle. It could be single crochet, double crochet, triple crochet, half double, whatever the pattern calls for. You go ahead and work those stitches right inside that circle. And when you have the number in there that the pattern calls for, this is the kind of what I consider the magic part. You see this tail sitting here. You've done all the ones that you need to, but now you have to join them. Well, how do I do that? You're just going to pull that tail, and you see it's making the circle smaller and bringing everything around. So now what you can do is you can join your stitches. This is my first stitch here that I made after the loop that we made with the magic circle. And make sure you join it before you cinch it too tight. I made that a little tight there, but there we go. All right, so I'm going to join this with a slip stitch like normal. Go through and then all the way through. Now I've got this hole in the center here, and we're going to take care of that by pulling on the tail. And when we pull on this tail, it cinches that magic circle that we had tighter, and your hole will almost always disappear depending on how many stitches that you have in there. See that? And then you can go ahead with your pattern, however you need to do that. But I think it's a really nice way to make sure you have as little hole as possible when you're stitching in the round like this. And it's really not as hard as you might have heard or how others have made it out to be. So go ahead and give this a try. I think you'll really like this. And as usual, if you have comments or questions, please put those down below and I'm happy to help. Thanks everyone for stopping by.